Hello, this is Kev, and this is Black Man Being Brutally Honest. And yeah, this right here definitely was terrible news. It happened back in February, and because of a leaked cell phone video, it caught fire with the media. Um, in these pics, you will see a young black man, Ahmaud Arbery. Ahmaud Arbery was taking a jog in back in February, afternoon jog, which his father says that this was regular for him. And there he was confronted by two white men, father and son, where it ended in Ahmad being shot and dying. What I want to show you first is two news reports, one before arrests were made and one after the arrests were made. You will see both of his parents speaking. His mother, Wanda Cooper, and his dad, Marcus Arbery. And when I show you these clips. Once I show you these clips, I will return and I will do my presentation. But this whole thing is messed up, and it is definitely something that has been very common in recent years. The murder of young unarmed black men in the streets, and it's a sad thing, and it needs to stop. So, all right, let me share the screen with you and let you watch these two news clips, so you'll get a bit more insight as to what this case and what happened to this young man is all about. But before we proceed further, what I'd like for you to do, if you haven't, is to go below this screen and hit this subscribe button and hit the notification bell and hit the all, because my goal for this channel is for black men to represent ourselves, to to give our perspective and make sure that our voices are heard in times such as these. Um, at the time of this, at the time this broadcast has aired, this is the night of his what would have been his 26th birthday. Um, and also a very different Mother's Day for his mother, Wanda Cooper, because she gave birth to Ahmaud in on Mother's Day in 1994. So for those of you who aren't quarantined from seeing your family, for Ahmaud Arbery, give your mother an extra big hug if you can. For those of us who can. Okay, all right. Well, let me go ahead and play these clips for you. Okay, and I will be back.
On Twitter, both everyday people and famous faces, from LeBron James, "Are you kidding me?" and Anthony Anderson on Instagram, saying, "Let us not allow distractions to keep us from paying attention." It's important to explain that the father in the video with the gun, who is not in jail this morning, is a former investigator for a county prosecutor and a former police officer. Because of this, two prosecutors have had to remove themselves from this investigation, and this is a reason why some feel there is no justice to be had in this case. Amy?
Steve Osinsami, thank you. We're joined now by Ahmaud Arbery's mother, Wanda Cooper Jones, along with her attorney, Lee Merritt. Thank you both for being with us. And Wanda, our hearts and our thoughts and our prayers are going out to you and your family. How are you holding up right now?
I'm managing. It's really hard. I can't say. It's really been hard.
No, that's so beyond understandable. The video is so disturbing. As a mother, I cannot imagine knowing that that was out there. Have you been able to bring yourself to watch it?
No, I haven't. I don't think I'll ever be in a mental state where I can actually watch the video. I had others that watched it that shared what they saw, and that just was enough.
I want to bring Lee into this because no arrests have been made. That's certainly been something we've been covering. You're calling for arrests immediately, but prosecutors have said that they first have to convene a grand jury, and because of COVID-19, they say that cannot happen until June. What's your response to that?
Prosecutors will need a grand jury in order to formally indict these men, but that has nothing to do with actually going out and arresting the men seen on camera murdering a 25-year-old unarmed black man. The prosecutors actually have the option, if they so chose to.
Okay, the guy speaking right now is attorney S. Lee Merritt. For those of you who don't know S. Lee Merritt was one of the attorneys on the Botham Jean case. The Botham Jean case was a case where then police officer Amber Geiger mistakenly, as she says, walked into Botham Jean's apartment, mistaking it for her own, and gunning him down. Another young black man that was killed for doing things inside of the law. So let's just continue.
Directly indict and skip the entire grand jury process. It's something that happens all the time in our legal system, and this would certainly be an appropriate moment as well.
Lee, a letter from the Waycross district attorney, who eventually recused himself from the case, by the way, outlines why he says no arrests were made in this case so far. He argues that under Georgia law, the shooters were acting legally. What do you say to that, Lee?
I think that Mr. Barnhill, which is the district attorney who penned that letter, ought to be brought up before ethics charges before the Georgia State Bar. I say that because he failed to disclose the fact that his family had close ties to the suspects in this case. He put together an opinion about whether or not this was legal, knowing that he was biased by that opinion, knowing that by putting that opinion out there that he would taint the prosecutorial pool, that he would taint any potential jury pool, and that his words would matter. And it matters that his words don't in fact line up with the law in any important respect.
Wanda, why do you think, what's your theory, why no arrests have been made so far, given that this video is now out there and people have seen what actually happened on that Georgia street?
I think that no arrest has been made basically because because of the title that he carried of the retired police officer. I think that they don't feel like that he was wrong because he was one of them.
And Wanda, I know that it's important to you and it's important to know more about the story, to know about your son, who he was, what kind of man he was. And I know his birthday is this Friday, May 8th. He would be 26 years old. Tell us about Ahmaud.
Ahmaud carried the most humblest spirit. Ahmaud was kind. He was well-mannered. Ahmaud, most of all, was loved by his family and peers. Ahmaud didn't deserve to go the way that he went.
Our thoughts are with you and your family. Wanda Cooper Jones, Lee Merritt, thank you both for your time today. We certainly appreciate it.
Gail, the two white men who confronted him in his neighborhood are now charged with murder and aggravated assault. Gregory and Travis McMichael, a father and son, were arrested last night. They deny any wrongdoing in the shooting death of 25-year-old Ahmaud Arbery. More than 2 months ago, Omar Villafranca has new information and reaction from Arbery's family.
This is a good birthday gift. I wish my son was here instead.
Marcus Arbery says he is relieved that the men accused of killing his son Ahmaud last February are in the Glynn County Jail. The Georgia Bureau of Investigations arrested Gregory and Travis McMichael Thursday evening. The father and son duo told police they thought he was a burglary suspect and shot the unarmed man during a confrontation. But Arbery says his son was not a criminal.
He was a good, well-mannered, respectful young man, athletic, love people.
The arrest comes just days after cell phone video was released showing the final moments of Arbery's life as he jogged in his own neighborhood. The video appears to show the McMichaels after they chased Arbery in their truck. Gregory told police Travis and Arbery fought over the shotgun before Travis shot him 2 times. CBS News can now confirm the video was filmed by this man, William Bryan. According to the case's previous prosecutor, the McMichaels and William Bryan were following Arbery, thinking he was a burglary suspect. The police have not said that Arbery committed a crime.
He just had a good heart. And you think he deserved to be lynched like that by a lynch mob? No.
Arbery family attorney Lee Merritt says he also expects Bryan to be charged.
My understanding is that that investigation is still ongoing.
CBS News can also confirm the video was leaked by this man, Alan Tucker, the former attorney for Gregory and Travis McMichael. According to a statement, Tucker says his sole purpose in releasing the video was absolute transparency. Fellow Arbery family attorney Ben Crump says the video is what might have propelled the case forward.
I believe that the video was all the probable cause you needed to arrest these murderous father and son duo.
CBS News has learned new details about the former prosecutor assigned to the case, George Barnhill of the Waycross Judicial Circuit. We obtained the email Barnhill sent to the Georgia Attorney General along with his recusal letter. In it, Barnhill explains his son, who is also an attorney, had previously investigated Arbery. He also included what he claimed was the criminal history of Arbery's relatives.
In that letter does not line up with the law in the least bit.
We reached out to the McMichaels but did not hear back.
Okay, all right. Let's get started. You heard what was said in those news reports. Yeah, I mean, and it's a lot of really bad, strange, weird, just shady ass stuff. But you can expect that. You can expect that from small Podunk towns. Where the law, favors certain groups of people. This took place in the Satilla Shores area of Brunswick, Georgia, in Glenn County. Okay, let me tell you something about the state of Georgia. Atlanta. Everybody thinks of Georgia. They'll think of Atlanta. Atlanta is the blackest spot in Georgia. Georgia is mostly Podunk, mountain, redneck, racist country. And that's just how it is. The best place for blacks in Georgia is the metro Atlanta area. And by this shooting, this shows. So let's take you down all of the events, all of the facts, everything that we know so far. Okay. All right. Ahmaud Arbery was taking a afternoon jog around his neighborhood and the ones intersecting. According to people who knew and loved him, it was a 2.23 mile jog. And that the day of February 23rd, 2020, little did he know it would be his last jog. Um, he was then confronted by father and son, Gregory and Travis McMichael, um, which I have pictured here. I have absolutely zero sympathy for these guys, so I will not be apologizing for what I am about to say about these two jackasses right here, basically. Gregory, 64, and Travis, 34, two gun-toting racist thugs in a pickup truck, uh, would confront Gregory. Shots were fired, and as a result, Ahmaud Arbery's life ended. What we will come to learn about the McMichaels is that Gregory, the father, is a cop and a former cop and a former investigator for the Glenn County District Attorney's Office, where Jackie Johnson is the DA. We'll get to her in a second. And also, I could be wrong about this, but it could have been Travis that worked at the DA's office. Well, hey, you know what? It could be both. I mean, they are a kind of a good old boys club in those towns. Okay. So, because of this, no arrests were made. No arrests. They were not arrested for it. And it's a funny, and it's funny how it all transpired. Okay. Just let's talk about these three prosecutors right here. The one in the top left is Glenn County District Attorney Jackie Johnson. It was said by Commissioner of Glenn County Sheriff's Department, Alan Booker. It could be the police department. I don't know. It could be GCPD, Glenn County. It was said by Alan Booker that a few days after the shooting, they were actually about to make, this is his claim, they were actually about to make the arrest. And Jackie Johnson blocked the two from being arrested. She was the first prosecutor to be put on the case, and she recused herself due to personal ties with the McMichaels, conflict of interest. She should be investigated, and she should be fired immediately. Yes, this is the law. No one's supposed to be above the law. And guess what? She made the decision that Gregory and Travis McMichael were above the law. All right. Now, if that wasn't bad enough, you have a second prosecutor who also recused himself from the case, Waycross District Attorney George Barnhill. Now, you heard in the news reports a mention of a letter. And from an excerpt that I have in front of me from the letter, you can find it on the internet. You can find it. Basically, it cites that he believes that because of the evidence in the videotape. Now, remember, they saw this videotape before anyone else did. Due to the evidence in the videotape, it just appears that, that the story that the McMichaels told corroborated with the video that they had saw, and there was no reason to bring them to be arrested. What they did was perfectly legal. You're in an open carry state. And he also cited a citizen's arrest law, saying that it appeared that Travis, Greg McMichael, and Brian William were following in hot pursuit of a burglary suspect. Gregory and Travis McMichael says that they believe that they believe that young Arbery was a burglary suspect in several burglaries that have been happening in the area. Fun fact, no, not so fun fact. The There was only one burglary reported in those past few weeks. One burglary, so it wasn't a string of burglaries happening. So that was a lie. The only burglary was reported was by Travis McMichael, saying that a handgun, a pistol, was stolen out of his truck. Also, the fact that Travis McMichael already has legal history, with Ahmaud Arbery, also kind of makes this seem premeditated. There was definitely intent there. That's the story they told. Once they said that he was chasing a hot pursuit. Gregory McMichael said that they simply stopped him and asked him what was wrong. And from there, Arbery violently attacked his son Travis, and Travis had no choice but to shoot Arbery for fear of his life. Well, ain't that just like cops? They always fear for their lives. So the second prick, George Barnhill, refused to take the case. In fact, he recused himself from the case because he felt like they did nothing wrong. And he saw the video too. Now, the news report shows some of the video. I saw the entire video. And that's why those two bastards got arrested. It took 3 prosecutors. It finally came across the desk of Liberty County District Attorney Tom Durden. Tom Durden, saw the same video and recommended that the Georgia Bureau of Investigation take over the investigation, because it's pretty obvious from the way things look that Glenn County was not going to be fair about this. And yes, he is, and now he's the prosecuting attorney. Now let's not go without mentioning the attorneys for the family that's representing the family of their slain son. Okay, so our people, our representation. Benjamin Crump, attorney at law, representing Marcus Arbery, Ahmaud's father. Esley Merritt, attorney at law, representing Rhonda Cooper, Ahmaud's mother. We as a community need to support these men and their team of attorneys that's working under them, which consists of black men and black women. We need to give them as much support as possible. We want to see these 2 pricks brought to justice. Now, the arrests were made because the video was leaked this week. As you all heard, the video was leaked by attorney Alan Tucker. Now, let's see if I can go back and find Alan Tucker. Just bear with me one moment. Alan Tucker, the attorney, basically said that he leaked the video because he did not want to riot, because he's seen what riots can do to cities. Okay, so let me show you this headline right here. Just want to make sure that anyone who wasn't informed about this case, when they watch this broadcast, they will be well informed afterwards. If I am able to do that, then the purpose of this video is realized. Okay, so here it is. Brunswick attorney says he leaked the Arbery shooting. Now let's see if it states why. Okay, look at this face right here. This is the man who leaked the video. Attorney Alan Brunswick, attorney Alan Tucker. Yeah, because I had wanted to know who released. How did anyone get possession of this recording? And this, okay, read this paragraph right here. He states, and I quote, "There had been very little information." Let me highlight it real quick so everyone know what I'm reading. There had been very little information provided by the police department or the district attorney's office, but there was entirely too much speculation, rumor, false narratives, and outright lies surrounding this event. Okay, now let me see. Then he goes on to say, I love this community and I have spent my career helping people in this community. My sole purpose in releasing the video was absolute transparency because my community was being ripped apart by erroneous accusations and assumptions. So when he saw the video, he concluded that the story and the narratives that were being put out there did not coincide with the video. Basically, he says that he was trying to stop a riot. He was getting tired of his community being torn apart by all these lies and all these speculations. So, good job, Alan Tucker. I feel as if that video wasn't released to the public, that these two men would not have been arrested. So getting back to Joe Bob and Billy, the father son, uncle nephew duo possibly at the same time. So after 74 days, 3 prosecutors, and the video leak, Gregory and Travis McMichael were arrested and charged with aggravated assault and the murder of Ahmaud Arbery. Bond was denied for both. William Roddy Bryan is currently under investigation. William Roddy Bryan is the guy who, he's the guy who, of course, recorded the video, and possibly, wrong with a couple of redneck ass racist piece of shit motherfuckers. Let's just go ahead and say it. I know that all the cursing in the world is not going to bring Ahmaud back, but one of my jobs, I feel like, is to say what the family feel like they can't and won't say. And I'm saying that these are 2 racist pieces of shit that need to be sentenced to either life in prison or the death penalty. It's that simple. We have seen too many people who have done this same goddamn thing get away with it. His ties to law enforcement and his son's ties to law enforcement as well is why it took 74 days to arrest them, on top of them being white people. Let's just go and put that out there. That was the one thing that Wanda Cooper did not want to say, but she was telling the exact truth as to why she felt it took so long to bring these men to justice. And now we wait. Now, of all of the celebrities, that have made comments and, spoke on this situation, we also have our President Trump. Now, I want you to hear exactly what he said. He was, basically just being orange here.
That problem, and
okay, so here we go.
The thing that solves that problem, and again, it's in the hands of the governor, and I'm sure he'll do the right thing. It could be something that we didn't see on tape. There could be a lot of, it's if you saw things went off tape and then back on tape, but it was a troubling. I mean, to anybody that watched it, certainly it was a disturbing or troubling video. No question. What's getting done is the thing.
Okay, all right. I want y'all to hear that again. This is our President Trump. I'm playing this again for those of you who love Trump and you think Trump isn't a racist and you think that he's a great president for black people, because I've been seeing a lot of that sentiment across social media. Let's listen to this again.
That solves that problem. And again, it's in the hands of the governor, and I'm sure he'll do the right thing. It could be something that we didn't see on tape. There could be a lot of, it's if you saw things went off tape and then back on tape, but.
Oh, yeah, it could have been some things that we didn't see. And it could have been some things that were off tape, but this is terrible. Like, yeah, he put in the little racist disclaimer. Like, okay, there could have been something else that could have happened. It could have been something that we didn't see. No, you saw enough. For those of you who watched that video, which, I mean, it was terrible. It's extremely terrible. You saw that those guys were not in hot pursuit. They weren't in hot pursuit. Shoot, the dude jogging up, they was waiting on him. He ran around and he was immediately threatened by the son. A shot went off, and like I said, one of the important things to remember is that young Arbery, Ahmaud, he went down fighting. He didn't let those two piece of shit racist motherfuckers take him without a fight. That is one of the most important things you must remember. Now we wait to see what happens. We wait to see what happens to these two sorry pieces of trash. And right now, like I said, because of what's happened in other cases across this country, we as a community should not accept anything less than a life in prison sentence or the death penalty. Period. The two prosecutors that recused themselves from the case, they need to be fully investigated. Period. They need to be investigated. They need to be disbarred, fired, whatever. They refuse to act on a job that they swore to do. If any one of us didn't do our job, we would be fired. Period. Point blank. End of discussion. So, my final thoughts, where do we go from here? How do we carry ourselves as a people from here on out? I've already pretty much stated it, but I will give you an example. And then I'm going to leave you with, my final thoughts. All right. It seems like every time one of these things happen, there's somebody always forms a Facebook group. Now, I wanted to put these two Facebook groups up here in particular because not because that there is a black group and there's a white group. I want you to pay attention to the number of people that are in each group. Now, for the Justice for Gregory and Travis McMichael, that's not all supporters of Gregory and Travis McMichael. It was okay. It was that, just like with the Amber Geiger Facebook groups that soon died out afterwards, because those Amber Geiger groups, they only happened for a short time. This group will die out. They made a Dylan Roof group. Everybody who is arrested for killing an unarmed black man, they make a Facebook group for him. But I want you to look at the number of members in the Facebook group for Gregory and Travis McMichael, and I want you to look at the number in the Facebook group for Ahmaud Arbery. This is definitely a sad statement. We would much rather go troll. And I'm not saying that black people shouldn't take over and destroy places like that. But we would rather go troll and go sit up there and argue with a bunch of people whose minds were not going to change at all than to go support justice for that young man who was gunned down. We got to do a little bit better. Do a little bit better. I mean, I understand, yeah, you know what? Sometimes it's fun to pick on racists. And I mean, the racists are coming out. But you know what these kind of things do? They bring out the bootlickers. and the sellout and the butter biscuits, butter biscuit people too. You know, it is. We got a lot of black people that are asking, can blacks be racist? We got a lot of black women that are referring to other deaths and how very few, very tiny amount of men reacted to some of the female deaths. And you know, the people act like they just, you know, some of our people act like we just want to check out of situations like this. I think it's fair. Hands down, I just think it's blatant fear, and I think that we need to put that fear to bed, and we need to start taking care of our own people because they will definitely take care of theirs. I bet you, Gregory and Travis McMichael at least got like 3 or 4 GoFundMe set up already for their defense fees, for their attorney fees, and they will fork over the money like that. I wonder how much money S. Lee Merritt and Benjamin Crump's going to get for their attorney expenses for the family of Ahmaud Arbery. Doesn't seem like it just doesn't seem like we care about the fuckery side of it. You know, the only thing that I want right now is justice for this young man. I know that you know, just making fun of and cursing out and trolling racist is not very, it's fun for a second, but it's short-term gratification. It doesn't last long. And no amount of trolling is going to bring that young man back. So this, like right here, like I said, have your fun, but it really speaks to the level of maturity that we display as a people. All right, that'll be it for me. This is Kev. This is Black Men Being Brutally Honest. And if there are any new developments in this case, uh, please return to this channel and you will receive everything that I am able to give you to the best of my abilities. Um, just remember his name, Ahmaud Arbery. Just he's more than a hashtag. He was yet another life that was stolen by the only 2 words I can come up with: racial profiling. That's all it was. It was racial profiling. He lost his life because of racial profiling. Justice for Ahmaud Arbery.